Welcome to the Wimpy Dumbbell Show with your host, Wimpy Dumbbell. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing well. All right. Welcome to the very first stream, the first Wimpy Dumbbell stream. Well, technically the second because the first one was kind of a bust. And this one got off a little bit on a rocky start, but let's get into it. So first off, let's talk about shit. Hold up, guys. All right, so first off, let's talk about like the early 2000s. So growing up in the early 2000s, I didn't have cable. So pretty much if you didn't have cable back in those days, you really didn't have any form of entertainment. I mean, you could have maybe played video games, but I didn't have a console back in the day because I was broke. You could have gone to Blockbusters and gotten a CD or DVD rental. That was kind of pricey, so I didn't really do that much. But as I got older, I started watching like a lot of these early 2000 shows. Teen Titans is right here. You have Courage the Cowardly Dog. Obviously I went to watch Transformers. This is the second one. I didn't watch that one in the theater, but I did watch the first one in the theater. It's kind of crazy because that movie is almost 20 years old at this point. It came out in 2007, so time is absolutely flying. But if you were like me and you only had antenna TV back in the early 2000s, the only form of content you could really watch back in those days was probably just whatever showed up on TV. And for whatever reason, this movie right here, wait, let me just search it up for you guys. Yeah, this movie right here, Belly of the Beast, it was like a low-budget Steven Seagal movie back in the early 2000s. And pretty much back in those days, if you didn't have cable, like this movie was always on repeat for whatever reason, right? We'll react to that movie like later. We'll react to it on a different stream. But yeah, I remember watching this movie back in the day. Like, I don't really remember too much about it. I just know it was like super low budget. Like, even back in those days as a kid, I knew that shit was super like low budget, low quality, kind of cheesy. And of course, it was a direct-to-video movie. For those of you guys who don't know what direct-to-video is pretty much just a movie that was released directly to DVD. They didn't even play it in the theaters. Another movie that they would always play back in the day, back in the 2000s, if you didn't have cable, was Ninja, which was a Scott Adkins movie. This one right here. I remember watching it again all the time. They would play that all the time on antenna TV because, again, I didn't have cable. It was that one, Belly of the Beast, the Steven Seagal one. And it was just also like just a bunch of like obscure like kung fu movies. So let's see if we can find some right here. All right, so I mean they would pass a lot of like Jackie Chan movies, but I'm sure most of you guys know like the majority of the Jackie Chan movies. This one they would pass it all the time. The Medallion, I think that one came out like in 2003. Jackie Chan First Strike. I remember this one. They would always pass that one nonstop. Also, Rumble in the Bronx. That was like an occasional one. They would pass Ip Man a lot. I think they have Ip Man on TV. By the way, I'm not being sponsored by them. I'm not being sponsored. It's just, just that Tubi has like a lot of stuff for free. And like for those of you guys who are growing up now, like you have no idea how good you have it with all these free streaming services with YouTube. Because when I was growing up in the 2000s, you did not have any of this. Wait, let's see. Is anybody in the channel? Oh, cool. Hey, my bad. I didn't see you in the channel for a moment. I just thought, okay. Yeah, I didn't see you in the channel. My bad. I was a bit busy talking. But I really do appreciate all the support, though. All right. What else was I going to talk to you guys about? Damn, they have like so many Ip Man movies. I remember they would pass like the first and the second one nonstop. I never watched any of the other ones. But yeah. What else? Oh yeah, growing up in the 2000s, right? Like I remember like you would get a free... Oh, cool. I appreciate it. But growing up in the 2000s, I remember whenever you would read a book, you would get a coupon for a free personal pizza. And also, you would also and I remember like fast food was like super cheap back in the day compared to now. Like I remember I think a 10-piece chicken nugget meal was like, what was it? Was it like $5? And like nowadays it's like going for like 13 at McDonald's. So, it was fucking crazy. times were good there. I remember you could get like fast food like Pizza Hut for like really cheap as well. Nowadays it's like super expensive. Little Caesars used to also have Little Caesar used to also have like the $5 pizza. Now it's gone up to 10. But I also remember those days. Sorry guys. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just had something to do. But yeah, what else? The Cars movie came out back in the 2000s. That movie turns 20 this year. If it hasn't already, I forgot when it came out particularly. I know someone could like search that up for me. But yeah, Cars came out in 2006. That feels really old. Um, the third Final Destination movie came out in 2006 as well. I think they used to pass that on Antenna TV as well. Um, what else do I remember? Shit. I'm thinking, what do I remember from the early 2000s? Like I remember Green Day, Paramore, Linkin Park. Those guys were like really mainstream back in the day. As a matter of fact, for the first Transformer movie, like the ending song, it's "What I've Done" by Linkin Park. They would pass that all the way at the end. Um, shoot. Let's see, what time is it right now? 2:17. Cool. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe we. Oh yeah, Terminator. Terminator. I think Terminator 3, the one that came out in 2003, they used to also pass that all the time. Full Metal Jacket. Let's see. Like you guys have no idea how good you have it with like Tubi and all the movies that they have in shows, man. And like they didn't have YouTube back in the day, so if you didn't have cable, you were pretty much screwed, especially as a kid because there weren't really a whole lot of kid shows back in those days. Oh, PBS Kids, right? PBS Kids was the bomb if you were a broke kid like me back in the day. Because PBS Kids, they had Arthur, which I still kind of watch nowadays. They had Curious George, that was always a good one. Fetch with Ruff Ruffman, that came out nearly 20 years ago, I think 2007. Shoot. What else? I know. I know. I feel like watching one of these movies, but I don't think I have much time right now. Shit. And like the thing is, I would need to get like some headphones, right? Actually, could you guys like give me one moment? I might be able to get some headphones real quick. Um, Hold up. Shoot, I don't have access to my camera. But I guess we could just watch it with subtitles. Yeah, and shoot, I can't even watch it because I know if I were to watch it on stream, I'm probably gonna get like my copyright striker. I'm gonna get my whatchamacallit, or I might get my channel banned. So I don't want that. But does anyone have like any questions or anything? I do appreciate any support. All right, so let's talk about the current job market right now. So for those of us like myself who are looking for a job, the job market's pretty rough. I mean, it's been pretty rough since like maybe 2024, right? At least since 2024 has been pretty rough. And I have friends that graduated back in like 2024, 2 years now, and they still haven't found anything in their field. So, times really are tough right now. Right? I don't know if some of you guys are like looking for work right now, but yeah, especially if you graduated college and you're like a newly grad, yeah, finding a job right now is going to be like really rough for you guys. Like, I do hope everybody finds work. They find something that pays them at least somewhat good, like maybe 48K minimum. But yeah, finding a job right now in the modern era is pretty rough. You have AI. You're competing with like grown adults. You're like a lot of people like their degrees just haven't gotten them the jobs they wanted. Me personally, before like I'm still applying for jobs now, but I just finished like a contract role where I was only getting paid 15.50 an hour. So, I do feel like with the degree and with the experience I have, I do deserve something a little bit better. But I'm just grateful to have gotten some money in. Gotta stack the money, do what you gotta do. Right. So I know how you guys see the future, but right now it seems kind of bleak. I do feel once interest rates go down by a little bit, I feel like once interest rates go down, then that's when they'll start picking up hiring. But for now, we're kind of like in this limbo. So yeah, so starting. Oh yeah. That's true, man. The job market really is rough. Oof, man, I feel bad for the adults that got laid off, like the people who have like actual families and who got laid off because those people now are like working the job that the grads would have gotten. Some of them are like working like minimum wage jobs. So like you're like a grown adult, like in your 40s, and you're working with like teenagers at like a restaurant. So I do feel for those people. But you got to do what you got to do, especially when you got a family to feed. So hopefully everything gets better. Shout out to Andy Morales, 1942. Shout out to him. He's super dope. Thank you for being with me here. I really do appreciate all the support you have given me here. Just watching the stream, it does mean a lot for me. Eventually, I am going to transition over to Kick because the moderation isn't as serious. I want to talk about like some more mature stuff. Oh yeah, of course, man. I do appreciate you. Yeah, I do want to transition over to Twitch because to Kick because I could talk about like more mature stuff and we can like watch movies together. That's actually one of the things I want to get into later on, just reacting to movies and TV shows. And this mask right here is so fucking hot, guys. Like you have no idea how hot it is in this thing. Like it's just plastic, and I've seen some that are made out of metal, so I imagine it's like a furnace in there. But but yeah, thanks everybody for watching the stream. I do appreciate all the support. Thank you to everybody who subscribed to my content. I'm gonna start posting more physique updates. As a matter of fact, once I get off the stream, I'm probably gonna take a physique photo. And just thanks everybody. I hope to see everybody real soon. Maybe I don't know when I'll stream again, but I promise I'll start streaming more frequently and soon. I might start streaming on Twitch as well. I feel like that's better for like the community and stuff. But thanks everybody. I appreciate everything and have a great day, guys. All right, take care.